But like at the like that Jose thing or whatever, I just brushed it off like it was nothing. But like I would assume that like a white person going to outside of the country and being like made fun of or like being acted racist against would be really, really offended and be like, oh my God, I cannot believe that this is how things really are. But
you just
like,
get targeted to like somebody run up the price on us. You know, that's really all it
Is
is.
that how they get you? Target being extra expensive?
Anywhere you are, it's like, oh, there's somebody I can.
But I get the same thing too. Like they just know that I'm like they know that you're American. That's what they do.
So it's not a white thing.
It's not a white thing. But like obviously a white guy is easier to pinpoint. Like that guy's fucking American.
You know why?
With
because
me,
we assume he has money.
Yeah. The same thing with me. Like that, like when I went to Mexico, everything was
Little did they know.
Up.
Yeah.
Everything was ran up because we were tourists.
Did you start it? Do we want to bring this up now that he started it? I kind of want to bring up
it,
this, what we just talked about, the topic.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
ahead,
so
I wanted to capture it all, but I needed to do some more.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
we can talk about it again because I have a point. Hello everybody, welcome to the Bunker Boys podcast. Today, I'm Evie. Dang, I just got completely. I was so into the conversation, I forgot about it.
Kyle.
And I'm Alex.
And today we are three controversial boys. So we were talking about before it started, a public school for Black History Month served chicken and waffles on the first day of Black History Month. Racist or not racist?
Well, it's definitely racist.
Yeah,
but
was it okay? Wait,
is there such thing as good racism?
I don't think so.
Because like okay, and this is the point I want to make. Like there are, and I'm blanking on like a certain situation, but like we do things that like
I'll make a good point after this, but go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question.
We would do something maybe not like in a school setting, but like where we have like food or dishes that would honor like a culture.
Yeah,
could that be this?
Yes,
sure.
Well, and it all goes back to what I said. Like, it depends on like where was their heart at, right? Were they trying to be inherently racist, or were they like, all right, well, let's honor the culture and let's do this.
Now let me make a quick point.
well, let's hear this. Yeah.
So like we were talking about earlier, I'm 99% sure that every black kid in that school that ate chicken and waffles that day was a very happy person.
Oh yeah.
But as a parent, I would look at that situation and say, all right, that was 100% racist. My kid was happy about it, but going back to like when there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that's what they're doing, like if that's where their mindset's at, how far does the rabbit hole go? It would be my question.
Because the question I would have is somebody looked at the calendar and they were like, that's a good day to put it.
So who's making that decision?
I don't know. I have a hard time.
And what other decisions can that person make?
Yeah.
That would be my.
First of all, let me look up where this was because that'll change.
I'm gonna guess Indiana.
That'll change my.
Now, if you told me it's literally like that, and then watermelon, sweet tea, red drink,
Well,
you'd be like,
that's
okay, wait
exactly.
a minute. Well,
So
you
that's
just
where I'm
Googled what
saying.
to cook.
So then I would,
Bro, New York.
Oh, makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah.
But then okay, now it makes me think not racist. I'm not.
No,
gonna
you
Just
know
outside
why?
New York
They're
City.
trying to like be too inclusive. That they went went back around. Yeah.
They serve chicken and waffles with watermelon.
Oh, see.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I would go back to my same point. Who's making this decision?
Okay,
and
hold
what
on.
other
It wasn't the
decisions can this
school.
person make?
Oh, it wasn't?
I would have.
Aramark, the school's food vendor, changed the menu items without telling the school, according to school administrators.
So wait a minute.
Now, hold on. That's according to school administrators.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
maybe they
man.
saved
That
themselves
sounds like
on
a,
that
I don't know.
That sounds like a Mexican standoff.
But I don't think like New York doesn't seem like the place to me that is like, let's make it racist.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No,
is-
that's
That's the
why I
place that's
changed
like,
my mind.
hey,
yeah.
wouldn't it be a great idea to have
Yes.
like
Yeah.
a food to
Yeah.
honor the culture?
Did they do anything else besides that, or was it just here, eat black food?
Was it like a weak theme of?
Yeah, exactly. Like
where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, we're gonna
What
talk
was
about
next?
like where this food originated from and why.
I guess also you got to sample the food
Yeah.
because if it's trash,
Dude, if it's Chick-fil-A,
insulting.
sorry.
it's insulting.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But if they catered Popeyes,
Dude, I'm in.
Fire.
You know what? Do more racism.
racism's the best. Huh?
And that was the racism that I like went through.
Yeah.
If instead of like speak American, it was like I got burritos and tacos at school.
Like, oh god,
that's
this is racist,
that's
but
a sweet deal.
delicious. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd
What if they
rather have-
played like that? When they bring it to you.
That's fine too. I put a sombrero on and everything.
Then they catch you. They're like, gotcha. You're not Mexican.
Not Mexican. Yeah, that's true. But to white people, there's only two things, right? Mainly Mexican.
I mean, per our conversation earlier today, I was like, why don't
yeah.
Mexicans play Bad Bunny? It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's either we're all Mexican or we're all Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Especially
It's just
in Florida.
It's just
Florida's
Spanish.
more the
Yeah.
Puerto Rican thing.
Yeah.
I think everywhere else is probably just Mexican.
Yeah. Or New York is probably another place. Everybody's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York's another Puerto Rican
Yeah.
spot.
You're like, I'm Dominican, bro. And they're like, no, you're Puerto Rican. It's like, all right.
Yeah. So what were we talking about this?
I don't
We were
know.
Talking about that, right?
We were just talking
Just
about the
rambling.
school
Yeah.
offering fried chicken and waffles,
Yeah.
dude. Which now I want.
I want some too.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Michael B. Jordan situation?
No.
No, what's going on with him?
Okay, so I saw they were actually talking about it on Flagrant as well. So we're not stealing topics, but I saw this over the weekend at the red carpet for Creed 3. Somebody was interviewing Michael B. Jordan, and he was kind of doing this, like, because apparently they knew each other from back in the day, and whether she said it or somebody else said it, they called him corny, either back in the day or currently, and you could tell he's still holding on to it. Would you hold on to something like that far down?
Bro, you're way better than whoever was interviewing you. Like,
But
Yeah.
also,
Let it
okay,
go.
it also
Yeah.
goes back to like, is that the mentality you have to be that famous or that big?
How
Like, we
old
talk
is he?
About,
In
like,
his 30s, early
we
30s.
talk about like,
So you're saying you got to be
sensitivity and, like-
corny, or
no. You got to be like hold that grudge, like,
Yeah.
to like drive you.
yeah,
Mm.
like the
Dude,
last
he's
dance,
36.
like the last dance,
Let it
Michael
go.
Jordan. It was like that person like said something slightly that maybe was towards me,
Yeah.
and I took that personal, and I dropped 60 on his head that night. It's
Yeah.
like I think is that
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Like I think as like to have the mentality of like having the drive to
Right.
be that get that
Every
gets
day
you
you
that
wake up-
famous or whatever.
But well, okay, so this happened in high school.
I don't know.
So and they knew each other back in high school, and I guess they used to make fun of him,
Bro.
probably because his name was Michael Jordan.
Hey, we've said this before. If we can get in trouble for stuff we said in high school or offend somebody
Yeah.
for stuff we said in high school, you and me are in real big trouble.
Oh yeah,
is there anything from high? You
I'm sure
you
there's
got picked
definitely
on in
stuff.
high school, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that something that you would like? There's not one person in high school that if you saw them as you were successful and they were not.
No,
That-
that's actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
So you
I'm
go,
more successful than you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
but how do they know unless you tell them?
I
mean, Michael B. Jordan's easy.
if they're still that delusional that they like think they're better than me, then
They're
that's
working at
they're gonna be right where they are for the rest of their lives.
working at the
Like, I'm trying to
Ocala local gas station, and you're like,
I can think of people who like, yeah, it pissed me off, but like I wouldn't feel the need to like say something to them.
Mm.
No, but like,
I
what
feel
about
like I'm more
standoffs? Like
successful
that
than some of those
situation.
people now.
What about that situation? Like, okay, let's say you're a famous musician, and there's somebody interviewing you for like
they made fun of you for like trying to be a musician.
like they got a
just don't.
small podcast, and they ask you to call in for like whatever. Like, would you?
Oh, I
just-
don't call in.
Oh, okay. So
That's
you
my
would
statement right
kind of-
there.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So you still kind of hold on to it then.
Do you tell them you're calling
This
in
is
and then
different,
don't
though.
call
I
in?
feel like this is different.
Well, he was just like he's forced to be in that situation.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah.
like this person. So it's that same situation of like, except for you're not forced to go on their podcast or whatever. But like, if you were forced to be in, would you put a smile on and like,
Probably.
Pretend.
I'm not gonna. I just wouldn't want. I would never want to be seen like that.
you're
like,
also like, we talk about this, but like, you're also petty. So I feel like you would be over the top, like
Like too
genuine.
nice?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then that's your way of being like F you.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Maybe. I just
You don't
feel-
think you would be petty at all?
at 36, bro, let it go, dude. I mean, come on. You're about to be 40 in a couple of years.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
let it go. From something from high school. Like to me,
Yeah, high
to me
school-
that
there
school
was
is
like
rough.
on,
that
yeah.
that makes it look like
Because I don't
bro,
even know if I remember.
you're about to be in
people high
Creed
school.
3.
Yeah.
Like,
well, in
the
like
third one.
on this one, like I guess like
You showed her
she said it. She said somebody else said something about him on like a podcast recently.
about
she
these
was
two.
on about him specifically.
She said something to it.
I don't think it was her. It was somebody else on the podcast. but they know each other from the past. So
And he
it's
probably
all
was
this kind of
corny.
like stuff.
Like, that's the
Probably.
bottom line.
I mean, come on, all
If
these
somebody-
actors,
yeah.
like they
If
were
somebody
probably
called
corny.
me a dork
Yeah.
in his high school, which many people
It's like
did.
Tupac.
I
Like,
can't hold that against you.
You see a picture of Tupac when he was in high school. He went to like performance arts high school, or whatever,
yeah.
and he became like this super like mega star in anything that he did.
I think there's a difference between like
most of those people were corny in high school. Most of those people were the ones in fucking drama that we were making fun of while we were like playing sports and stuff.
I think there's a difference between like name calling in that sense, like calling somebody dorky or corny, and then or like saying like you're never gonna make it. I think those are two different.
Also, another thing I thought about while we were talking about this is it's a boy girl situation, which means
He liked her.
maybe that had
Okay.
and
She
she
crushed
was
his heart.
probably more popular than him, and that's when the corny statement came.
But he was
out.
acting in high school
Was he?
That's true.
because he was in
He was
The
acting
Wire, so he had to be in the high school because that was early '90s or late '90s.
So I'm with you. Maybe he was corny. Like
Yeah.
maybe he was like that Bow Wow type that would like was in a big acting role and then would come back to school like he's better than everybody.
Because like we've talked about it. Obviously, I have not made it, but like I can admit that I was a dork in high school.
Yeah.
So like if somebody else like said that, I'm not holding on to that because I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah. I probably look back and be like, I was pretty.
Yeah,
like,
I
there's-
said some
I was
dumb
corny.
stuff.
There's things that I think back and I like. Do you ever think about like this happens to me all the time where you think about a situation that happened to you in high school or whatever and how
I
you
lose
handled
sleep.
it?
I lose sleep
You're like,
over it,
God,
bro.
I'm so
I
embarrassed.
lose
about
sleep,
that.
bro. I could give so many examples right now, but I won't because it's too
All right,
embarrassing.
give us one. Give us one.
I could go.
Come on.
Okay,
Yeah, but we got to hear this. This is a corny moment with
All
Evie.
right, give us one.
okay, bro. I'll give you one.
I'm trying to think
You're
of
gonna
one.
hate this because this would be like you and me. This is like a you and me exchange right here.
Oh, he's getting
All right.
red.
Sophomore year, we're like in like the divisionals of like playoff baseball.
Okay.
Cameron Proctor strikes out, or I think he either struck out or he
Is
popped
it okay
up.
to say his name?
Yeah. Nobody
Okay.
listens to us.
Okay.
Cameron Proctor either hits a fly ball or strikes out. I don't remember what it was, and he comes into the dugout and he slams his helmet into the fence. And I said, "Don't hit the fence. It's not the fence's fault."
And that's still crushing you to this day.
I've lost sleep over it, bro.
That
I've
was your
lost sleep
wittiest
over it.
come back in the moment.
And just like,
yeah.
ugh.
I'll do one, and it's probably like as stupid or even more dumb than that one. But like for me, it's more so like when I look dumb in front of a girl, like especially in high school, that was big for me. And I remember this.
I was never in those situations.
Yeah, me
to
neither.
begin
There was
with.
one girl that I used to hang out with during lunch or whatever, and we were like in that talking stage, and we were walking in what. God, this shit is so embarrassing. Like I'm probably getting red right now. It's
No,
just
it's
something.
happening.
It's nothing crazy either. It's just something so stupid. I stepped on like a napkin or something like that. I had Vans on. I remember exactly what I was wearing too, and it got stuck to my foot. And then I tried to wiggle it off instead of just pulling it off or something like that. And I looked like such a fucking idiot. And she like laughed so hard because my foot went like it was like a loose ankle. So my foot was just like wobbling, like trying to shake it
Ooh.
off. And I don't know why that still to this day,
That's
like
so
I'm like,
interesting.
why did I just pull it off? Like
No.
that when I wake up in the middle of the night, it's like, God, why did I just pull it
you
off?
thought it was yucky.
Maybe this is good for us. Maybe now, like we won't
It's a
think about
therapy
this.
session.
Get it off
Yeah.
our chest.
Yeah.
Because it's something so
I'll
stupid.
give one
too.
more. I'll give one more because this one's really been haunting me. This one's been haunting me too.
Demons with Evie.
Also a baseball one, bro. It was all baseball related. Zach Davis, bro. He was another catcher. All right, we're both catching bullpens, and I had noticed that day that he had the same like cup as me, and so I stop our bullpens, and I'm like, "Hey, man, same cup." And I can't stop thinking about that because his face.
He's like,
His face when I said it was like,
oh,
Oh,
nice,
God.
dude. Yeah.
yeah.
That
All right.
Maybe now I felt good to get off.
Definitely
I
corny.
felt good to get off my
Definitely
chest.
corny. Okay.
So yeah. So what I'm saying is all that to circle back. If Zach Davis was interviewing me for some reason.
that he wouldn't remember that.
But what
No,
if what if he
no,
said?
he-
What if he did? He was like, "Hey man,
but that's
you
the
got
thing.
that cup
Does she remember
that's
calling Michael B. Jordan corny? Probably not.
No, she mentions that they knew each other from back in the day.
That's
Yeah, but she probably
Zach
doesn't
Davis
think
would
that
know me.
there's a
He wouldn't
problem.
remember me going same cup.
What if he did? What if he did that to you?
If he did, bro, I'm so sorry. I hope you haven't been thinking about this much.
Yeah, he's been plotting his revenge.
It's kind of crazy though, because we do grow up, especially at an adolescent age, like, and I realize like this is when most of that embarrassing stuff that like latches onto us and stays with us
Yeah.
happens.
It molds you, bro.
Yeah,
because
because
I would never say something like that again.
Because like we grow up, and I feel like most people at like a later age realize that's not the case, but at a young age we're the main characters of our story.
Yeah,
It's like it's highlighted, like we
Yeah.
think everybody's looking at us, we think everybody is like, everybody knows every single little thing that you do, and it's like that's not the case. Like most people are so worried about themselves that they're not even paying attention to what
Right.
the embarrassing shit that you do. I don't know, I find that so fascinating.
You got any embarrassing stories?
not off the top of my head.
Dang, dude. We'll
Yeah.
circle back. We'll circle back.
Oh,
to
don't
that.
worry. I mean, I've got trauma stories, but that's not the right time.
Oh no, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Yeah.
I have, oh god, I don't know why I did this. I have one where like I don't even understand why I did this. I don't get it. Maybe I'm misremembering how it happened, but I remember like somebody like in class. This was probably 9th grade. No, I think 10th. Somebody like a girl threw me a note, and it got intercepted by the teacher. And instead of just like just shutting up, I out
Like she
loud-
came in like mid throw, like
Well,
caught
like-
it, or you passed it and she
No,
happened to-
no, she passed it to me. I hadn't even looked at it. I don't know what
you
that note
just
said.
got it. You were about to. Your heart.
But it didn't. It never
Dude,
got.
he was.
It never got to me.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I can't remember if it like fell on the floor or something, but she saw it, and I want to say it was ended up on the floor, and she grabbed it. I don't remember if she looked at it or not. I have no idea what. And I like trying to be funny, said that's embarrassing or something like that. And dude, she got bright red, and everybody started dying, and I was like, God, why did I do
you just
that?
crushed her, bro.
Yeah, oh God.
Dude, have you heard Theo Vaughn talk about he was at like a big like lecture one time, like in college, and I forget what the statistic was, but the teacher for some reason was like, statistically like 1 in 4 of you are going to be sex offenders or something. And Theo said he got up and said, "Not it." That's what that reminded me of.
Dude, I always wanted to be that. Like I
That was
always
the
wanted,
funny. They could just get the whole.
And then
place
finally, when I
erupted.
had that moment in that time,
It's
I
too
was
late.
like, "Damn it! I shouldn't have said that." Like, I just felt so bad.
Yeah, poor lady.
I felt so
Lady.
bad.
Did she retire after that? She was like, I'm sick of this.
No, not for the lady. The girl got.
Oh, the
red.
girl got red.
The girl
Oh,
got.
yeah,
red.
I thought the
yeah.
teacher got
embarrassed.
red.
No, hell no.
What did that
thing
note
got ripped.
say, bro?
I have no idea. I'll never find out because
You never-
obviously
oh,
she ain't
no.
gonna tell me now.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like it could have been something innocent. Like I have no idea what it was.
She could have been like your shoes untied.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been anything. But
It
she
wasn't,
got,
though.
It
Yeah,
wasn't.
probably wasn't.
She got bright red.
No,
She
no.
got red,
Yeah.
bro.
I want to know what that
And,
note
like,
said, bro.
She got an Eevee neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Red still. I can see
Yeah.
it.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, she barely ever talked to me.
She avoided you. I'm guessing after that.
Yeah, and I deserved it. To be honest, that was a dickhead thing. But I didn't think about it. Like it was just like
Just came out.
it just came out.
Yeah. Being a
And
dickhead does that.
it felt bad.
It happens.
God.
Why is this like a therapy session today on the podcast?
Just needed
Yeah,
it.
we came in feeling good
Yeah.
too, and
Yeah.
now we're
I
putting
feel
ourselves
good that
down.
I got
Yeah.
those 2 stories off my chest, bro. I'm not going to
I
lie.
don't feel good about that last one. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll edit it out.
I still don't like. Oh man, that one gets to me because I'm like, why did I do that?
Because that one's not just your embarrassment. That's
Yeah.
embarrassing somebody.
Exactly, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's what
You're
like,
embarrassed about it.
Yeah, like the napkin on my foot. Like I only embarrassed myself to one person, so it wasn't
You
that.
think.
Yeah.
But it was just us two. Like we were
Oh.
walking down the hall or whatever,
Oh,
like
okay.
during lunch. Like
When you said during lunch, I thought it was like in the cafeteria. Everybody.
no. Like we used to like meet up at lunch and then just start walking. Like
That's adorable. I always
I'm just
wanted.
imagining
I always
him
wanted that, bro.
I didn't end up in a good situation,
wiggling his
so.
foot. That's what I'm
Yeah.
imagining right now.
Yeah, that was
She's like, "Is that a new dance or something, or what?"
Yeah.
Old stinky foot.
especially
stanky
like
leg
that
early.
was my junior year,
It's
and
an important year.
exactly
It's an important year.
that year I switched from Colonial to Haggerty.
Mm.
So also I was like the new kid,
Yeah.
and like my whole this is also embarrassing that I thought about this, but that summer I was like, I'm gonna be a lot more outgoing than I was at Colonial, because at like in Colonial I realized that I
You
was
can reinvent yourself.
yes,
Change and
but also like I went from middle school in Tampa, and middle school in Tampa to me was like horrible because I was like the chubby kid that like still hadn't grown into his body, so I had little like
or outgrew it. I don't
yeah, basically I outgrew my body, and
My mom says I'll be tall.
yeah. And
I'm gonna be
when I went
handsome.
to Colonial, I was super shy. Even though I had leaned out, I was playing football, so I looked better. But I was super shy. Especially my freshman year,
Mhm.
but even my sophomore year, like I never was really outgoing because I always wanted to be in the crowd. And then going to like from Colonial to Haggerty, I was like, I want to be more outgoing. Like that was my thing. And then like I was like, God, I'm a nerd. Like I'm a loser. I'm a dork. Like that.
See, so
when
you
that one
would-
hit me, I was
that-
like,
these kinds of things wouldn't affect him.
Yeah.
He says it to himself every day.
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah.
Look at him now. Yeah.
He's like, I got bullied so hard in especially sixth grade that I was like, nobody could get.
You
to me
can't
after
take me
that.
any lower.
Yeah, you can't. I got
That's the
bullied by a
worst
kid that was
time.
literally half my size, and
That's
he
the worst
literally
time in
one
life.
day looked at me and was like,
Usually
"You're
the
bigger
short
than
ones
everybody."
do. Usually the short ones, they're
You're
mad.
bigger than everybody. Why do you let people like? Why do you let me bully you? And I'm like, I don't know.
Think about where we work,
Can't
bro.
help myself.
We've seen it.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's that Napoleon syndrome.
And those halfers, man, they get upset. And that's not. I'm not talking about little people.
No.
Just physically little
Just
people.
short.
Yeah.
Short folk.
Dang, bro. Well, it's that bullying that shaped you. Now, I think it's important to get it out early.
No, bullying definitely shaped.
Yeah.
There's two big things that happened in my adolescent years that shaped me, and it was bullying
Mhm.
and football. Those two.
Well, that was kind of bullying too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Football
for
is just
sure.
bullying
But I think
For
like
sports.
I always talk about like I know the exact point in football that really changed my mentality, and I was like, I do not want to be a bitch anymore. Like I think I told you guys before, but I was going from freshman to junior, or I'm sorry, freshman to sophomore, and it was that summer
Good
we
jump.
were going like we did no, it was. Yeah, so I was still a freshman, but it was like spring training. So like the freshman season already passed. Now I'm training to play for the JV team. And at this point now, like Colonial, how the way it's structured is the freshman campus was off location.
Okay.
So it had its own location, and then we would take a bus. There was
Really?
like 2 or 3 buses. I can't remember. Yeah, I guess it outgrew itself. Because also the main campus in Colonial is weird. Since it's so old, it's in
I
the
don't even know
middle.
where it is.
It's literally off of 50 and Cimarron. Like it's in that location. But it's in the middle of neighborhood. Like
Yeah.
in neighborhood. So you can't grow like
Yeah.
physically
There's
you
no room
cannot
for
grow-
expansion.
yeah.
Right.
So I guess the expansion was an off location, the 9th grade center. And so we take a couple buses after school, go training, whatever. So now we're training with guys that are way bigger than us. And we're in the weight room. We break off into threes, and the way it's like clockwork. Like everybody's supposed to be on set. You do 3 sets. You move on to the next thing. If anything messes up, like nothing can mess up because there's 4 racks of everything. So 4 squat racks, 4 clean platforms, 4
Gosh.
bench sets.
Take me back to high school. If the
Yeah.
gyms are like that, that's way better than what
They
we got
are.
now.
They are really nice.
And then and then like free weights. So it was usually like a 4 workout like rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And so we messed something up. It was like we were still pretty novice. It wasn't our first day there, but we messed something up and we got ripped by the weightlifting, or like by the coach that was in charge of supervising our weightlifting or whatever. So then we got taken outside to the field, and we had to do bear crawls, crab walks,
Yeah.
wheelbarrows,
Shot 'em all,
like
shot you all.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had to do the
Put 'em
worst
down.
of the worst. Like while everybody was
Yeah.
working out, we were just doing horrible. And the bear crawls is what got to me.
Bear crawls suck.
Bear crawls got to me where I'm like, I can't do this. Like I physically can't do this. So I started making excuses up. Like I sound like such a bitch, bro. Like I was like, Coach, my hip hurts. Like I don't know if I could do this. And he's like, all right, then leave. And like I was like, oh, fuck. And so I was like, I finished it. And while I was like going, like working that out in my head, I was like, bro, it would be such a little bitch move for me to quit right now because I can't do bear crawls. Like come on.
There were kids that did it though.
that what
that
they
quit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And, well, at least
That always,
when I played.
like I think that coaches, looking back at it, like they always used to call me soft, and like I think they saw that, like they had to have seen the type of kid I was coming into the program,
Right.
because
Soft.
like at first I was like, nah, there ain't no
said,
way
that one's got weak
Yeah.
hip.
yeah.
that one's
Yeah.
got some weak hip.
Oh, you know
Coach would
what?
always call me soft
Bad
and like
back
bully
already.
me, like you guys say, like would bully me. Like he would even joke, like I broke my hand running the ball one time. Like my hand got pinned against somebody's helmet and the ball, and it was it was actually a year later, and for spring training, and so I had a cast on, and the doctor that like saw me wouldn't clear me because it was spring training. He's like, if it was a regular season, like then I would let you play, but it's spring training. Like you can sit this out and let it heal properly. And I remember the coach like joking, like, I knew you were soft. And obviously I couldn't do anything about it at that point. And I was a
Yeah.
different person than I was a year after.
Yeah.
But yeah, that moment, man, something clicked. And I remember going through that whole summer, like coach would always say, like it wasn't out like he was only picking on me, but like I would be the person, like one of the people that he would cycle, like pick, and it's like, we're not stopping until D-Fran quits. Like
God,
I
that's got to be the worst too.
like the whole so like
Everything's on your shoulders now.
yeah, so like
God.
it was like like after practice we would run I can't remember how many yards. It's probably like 30 full sprints or whatever. And like if you're not giving like the intensity that they want to give, like you got to keep going and you got to keep going.
Start over.
And yeah, and then like I remember there was one kid that like was always dragging behind, and coach was like, hell no, we're gonna, like let's go again. Like honestly, that I like it was kind of crazy because like running. And like how I told you I verbally abused myself during running to keep going.
Not healthy.
No,
Not healthy,
at all.
by the way.
It's because I think it's because of that. Like because like I'm like I don't want to be the one that gets singled out, and he would still single me out. He's like it would be a joke like, oh, we're not stopping until D-Fran throws up or like D-Fran quits or whatever. Like it wasn't only me, but I was one of the people that
right.
he would do that to. So yeah.
Do you want to talk to this coach right now because he's outside?
I would actually.
Our first guest,
Our first
actually.
guest.
I would like to talk
Bully
to him again,
coach.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I actually really liked him as a coach, and
Do you think you would find out that he wasn't actually? He just knew that your
He just hated you.
Yeah, no. I was saying, maybe your mentality. He's like,
I think he
got a
knew
good
that he could fix me.
right. But I think also maybe he saw that he could push you and it would push everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that like at a certain point, yeah, it got that way.
Okay.
I think that because I didn't realize it then, but like yeah, saying what you're saying and looking back on it is like because of that, I believe that I became like a leader where I didn't have to even vocalize. It was just through my effort, like people followed that.
Yeah.
And like being singled out like that, like I said, I wasn't the only one, so it's not like I was, but but like my sophomore year, even that summer, coach was putting together like tape of me to start sending out to like, I remember sitting in his office and like him asking me who I wanted to play for. And I was like, and like looking back at it now, it's like the person a year ago that I was like, I wouldn't have even imagined that. Like I even in football, I was like the guy, like, I don't want nobody to tell me nothing. I don't even want you to know who my name is. Like, I'm just here really at that point was to make friends because I was moving from Tampa, so I knew nobody. And honestly, to look better. Like, I was a chubby kid in middle school, and I did not want that.
Yeah.
And so, like, football was a way for me to, like, outgrow that and like, look better. So so like I never wanted to be somebody that was like a team captain. Like I never wanted that. And like honestly, like if I would have stayed in Colonial, I think that's what I would have been. Like looking back on it, and that's why I would like to talk to him. Honestly, I don't even know if he would really remember me. I guess he would, but like in my mind,
It wasn't that
like,
long ago. I think he would.
yeah, I think he would remember me. But like, if I would have played my junior and senior year with him,
Right.
then I would have like been a lot more impactful.
Yeah.
But since I left and we went to Haggerty, then
He burned that tape as soon as
Yeah.
you left. He was like, "What a waste!"
He's like, that would have been. He was like, that was my golden goose.
Yeah.
D-Fran.
no, I don't think I was a golden goose. But I think I
It's my
like
ticket out
a lot of
this
people that I
town.
played with went off to college, and I think I would have.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I had
You
I had
played in
friends-
Miami. Is that where you wanted to play?
That's where I wanted to play, but he looked at me. He's like, "You're not gonna go to Miami."
You're like, well, I can ride the bench though, right?
He's like, "You're not going to Miami." I was
Come on.
like, "Still, that's where you asked me where I want to go. That's where I want to go."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely bullying and football bullying shaped who I am.
Yeah.
For sure. Those two. But I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other things but those two. Yeah.
That's how we got our co-host
got
today.
me.
Gosh,
This is the origins.
That's Alex.
You didn't know you were going to get origins today.
goodness, yeah, I didn't know we were gonna get so deep today. Golly,
Yeah, sorry. I
it's
guess
not intentional.
Yeah.
you guys brought it up. and
See?
I
Do we know
down the
Kyle brought
rabbit
up
hole.
Michael B. Jordan,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's where we.
I just saw this on Twitter over the weekend.
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
if
So
you were wondering
that's-
what Alex thinks
yeah.
about Michael B. Jordan,
Yeah.
there's 15 minutes
Yeah.
of
We found it.
what
All right,
shaped
what's
him into the
next?
man he
What
is.
do we got next?
Bro, I got nothing today.
I know you don't got nothing.
That's why you're like, just keep milking it.
Yeah, I ain't bringing nothing.
Well, we're going to Disney tomorrow.
We are going to Disney. We can't talk about Disney again, bro. Nobody
Yeah.
cares about
I
Disney.
love Disney.
Well, we could talk about Disney next week because I think it'll be a little different experience
That's
because you'll have a +1. That's not Evie.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you will have me.
well, yeah, but I want.
Of me.
I think we could have some good stories with the two of you together, the three of you together.
I'm just gonna observe. I'll
Yeah.
come back with notes.
Okay, good.
What they're like in the wild.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true. You never really.
we've never seen it.
Mm,
Yeah.
Just at the Christmas party.
Mm-hmm.
So-
I wonder if she's gonna act natural. That's my big question.
I would think by the end of the day,
Yeah.
you get
sure.
worn out. You can't keep up an act
Yeah.
at Disney.
You gonna grab
But
But
like
even like with Jose, like she's not 100% like
Mm.
because like she, like I don't know, like it's not that she's like any worse or whatever. She just doesn't know how people are gonna react to certain things.
Right.
Mm.
So like maybe she won't make
I get that.
jokes.
Yeah, I
that
get
she
that.
would if like she was 100.
As long as she doesn't try to like start saying Bible verses around me, because she thinks
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna. I'd be
Definitely
like,
not gonna do
Lord
stop
forgive.
it.
She's definitely not gonna do that. She'll make jokes.
If
That's-
she starts
Yeah.
praying before we eat,
Oh.
I'm
If
gonna
she's like,
lose my
"Hold up,
mind.
my
everybody."
biggest question is like, is she gonna make a joke to make fun of you yet? I don't know.
I mean,
That's
she
what I don't
knows
know.
Evie so well without actually spending
Yeah,
time
she
with
does.
him.
That's why I
So,
know
Because
that
I'm
she-
her.
Yeah.
That's why I know that she'll have jokes.
Yeah.
Like she'll have jokes that pop into her head.
Yeah.
Like she's pretty funny. And so I don't know if she'll say them
Mm-hmm.
or keep them to herself.
She's texting him to you.
She'll just save them in the car to be like,
Oh, okay. She's like, okay, when Evie did this, here's my joke. I didn't want to be mean.
I hope not. I hope she can roast me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she'll get like you're pretty good at getting people to open up. Like we talked about that like last week. Like Jose's sister came along and we tried to like get everybody involved in the
She's
conversation.
like,
and you're pretty good.
Oh, this guy's not threatening.
Yeah.
She's like, this
She's
guy's
like,
this guy's a
zero
puss.
interest in this guy.
And the funny part, like usually, like especially with Leanne, like she's not joking with other people around us, and I will. Like I don't like if somebody, and it happened a couple times where like you and me were both like kind of randomly like there'll be some like a situation that happens and we'll make a joke out loud
Mm-hmm.
that will catch that person's attention, whatever. And that was like the first time that I've really been with somebody who also does that
Mm.
too.
That's so funny. I'm just trying to get a laugh at anybody
Yeah.
I can, bro.
Yep.
That's the goal. And
So I think you're
sometimes it
pretty
lands,
good.
sometimes it doesn't.
I think you're pretty good at getting people to like open up
Mm.
because of that. Because you're pretty outgoing.
We found my talent,
That's it.
not being threatening.
No. the most non-threatening individual you'll ever meet.
Threatening as possible.
Evie Brickell.
Oh, dude. Let's talk about the documentary we watched over the weekend.
Oh,
What was it
yeah.
called?
It's the Murdoch.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Murdo-
can
Murdo?
Murdochs.
Something like
I don't
that.
know. They
Murders or
okay.
Southern
the confusing
Murders
thing
and-
is they always went by like something else because like
Yeah.
the dad's name was
Yeah.
Alex, but he went by Alec.
Yeah, what?
Right.
And it wasn't
Yeah.
even Alec. Sometimes they were like Oleg. Like it was so weird. I'm
know.
like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Like,
I only watched a little bit of it, and I'm just as confused because I'm like, there's different people, but
dude,
they're
I
all
turned
the
on
same.
I
It's
turned
like
on
a
the
Cormac
subtitle
McCarthy
just to see
book.
what his name was.
Well,
It says
I
Alec.
kept seeing it because like in the first episode they kept showing like the diagram of the family
That's what I
tree,
thought I
and it
saw.
said Murdaugh.
Right.
Alex Murdaugh.
Yeah,
that's what I saw.
What I saw.
But then the girl who was dating, was his name Paul, the younger one? The blonde girl that was dating him kept saying Murdoch. And I was like, did somebody, and I'm like thinking about me working at Netflix, like doing this, and I'm like, somebody misspelled it. Somebody's going to lose their job.
Yeah.
Because I've been there, right? I'm like, somebody misspelled it, and that's it. But then the next person said Murdaugh, and then the next person said
Murdaugh.
Murdoch. And I'm like, I
I
don't know.
Yeah, and then with his first name, it was like at first I heard Alec, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm mishearing. And
He
that's-
said Alec. When it got to the prison part, they were like,
Yeah,
"You have a preferred
okay.
name." He said Alec, but it was spelled Alex.
but and then
I don't
then,
like that.
Like later when they were like reporting, like when the reporter were saying it, they were like saying like Oleg. Like I'm like, I don't know what is going
It
on.
did-
Right
and
now.
the thing is, it spelled out Alex, like his
Yeah.
name, Alex.
Right.
It wasn't like a
A-L-E-X.
confusing spelling. It wasn't a confusing
I'm
name.
telling you, I turned on the subtitles and be like, am I crazy? Like,
I'm glad.
I
I'm
don't
glad.
know.
I'm glad. I'm glad we brought that up because I was reading that Murdoch thing, and I was like, somebody fired. Somebody got fired.
Okay, so what do we want to talk about of this? Where do we
Dude,
want to start? You want to do a timeline, or do you
Tell
want to
me-
just start picking apart?
Can
stuff?
you? Yeah, this is like I haven't watched enough, so give me an
well,
overview.
the part that was a little bit confusing about it was how it went out of order.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
didn't
really
love
like
that.
that.
Well,
I didn't really like.
is
that.
it because the case is still ongoing?
No, because there was a storytelling
There was a main
like,
part,
decision.
and the
Okay.
main part of the whole thing was the girl that went missing on the boat.
Yeah.
That was the main story.
But that wasn't. But that's not where the story starts.
No.
Okay.
Like clearly, that's
That
not
was
where
just
the story
kind of what led to like other things getting looked into, and ultimately, this
starts.
family.
Not even really. Like,
Right.
Oh
maybe,
yeah,
maybe
the
a little bit.
housekeeper for sure. The housekeeper that wouldn't have been looked into.
bro. If okay,
What?
if the
So, okay.
murders didn't happen on the property, nothing would happen.
Okay,
like,
so
to them ever
what's this guy in jail?
That's
What's this
true.
guy in jail for right now?
a lot of things.
Yeah, but give me an
fraud was one of them, right?
fraud and like how many murders?
but two at
So,
least.
Counts
okay,
of murder?
So let's just.
Okay,
I said let's tell the story the way the documentary did.
Go ahead.
So the first thing that the documentary talks about is that the Paul, the youngest son, was a fuck up.
yeah,
And like they kind of disclosed that by bringing up situations and like friend testimonials of like situations where he like was drinking and driving and turned over the truck, and then like his lawyer family would just get him out of it because like his dad was a lawyer, his grandpa like started a whole firm.
This went deep. I think it went like 2 generations.
Okay,
back.
maybe it was his great grandpa.
I think all the way to the great grandfather.
But like his grandpa was like a top notch like lawyer.
okay,
Small town in South Carolina.
Yeah. So
Surprise.
whatever, his son's a fuck up. They go to like he drinks and drives. Nobody could tell him nothing. Like that's basically the first like 40 minutes of it was like this guy does whatever he wants,
living the dream.
and none of the friends can tell him otherwise. And like, who knows how hard they tried to like take the keys away, whatever. But
Yeah.
this guy is the type of person that will be like he'll, if you're not okay with what he's doing, he'll just drop you. Like that's what it seemingly was
Okay.
like.
And he's the one
you
with the
just
money.
can't-
Yeah, he's
you
the
just
one-
can't come
yeah.
with us. So whatever.
I'm
So
gonna take my ball and leave kind of friend.
that type of person. So most of the people were like, oh, God, man, we don't want this guy to drink and drive, but like, I don't want to not be here. So
yeah.
and so the main part of the story was about this boat trip that they took where they were all clearly drinking. He gets blasted like drunk, and then they hit like an underpassage of a bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the girls goes missing.
Okay,
It was actually like his best friend's girlfriend, which that part was heartbreaking.
It was so sad, bro.
It was
Yeah, it's sad, yeah.
heartbreaking. And yeah, so this girl goes missing. They're they're emphasizing that like his family's gonna get him out of it. So like this was something that was pretty interesting to me, is how intelligent they were, which obviously they're lawyers, but like as soon as the accident happened, they're already doing like a PR cover. Like immediately they're like telling all the kids like, don't say anything.
Like all the kids are in the hospital. They went straight to the hospital to like tell the kids
like
this.
yo,
they're busting into their rooms.
Like, shut up. We got you. We'll take care
lawyers,
of the situation.
Calm down.
But in reality, all they were trying to do was create confusion around who was driving the boat.
Okay.
So that Paul, the youngest son, didn't get in trouble.
Right.
They were trying to pin it on one of the other guys.
Were they all underage?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I get why like the kids would listen to him, because they were afraid they were going to get in trouble for drinking.
Right.
So, like, also, it seemed like a town where it's like you were drinking, like, and you're 17.
Yeah.
Like,
You get a slap on the wrist at most.
Yeah. Might not even stay in a holding cell.
Right.
Especially if you're attached to a wealthy family.
Yeah.
So, whatever. They're causing this confusion. The girl goes missing. A couple days later, they find her washed up on shore.
Well, who's they?
Like a private investigator.
No, random people. Just good Samaritans.
People
yeah.
hanging on the beach.
So that's another thing is too, like they had the police in their pocket, clearly.
Right.
And
Small
like,
town. That's what I expect.
So also,
the police were
like,
looking.
It seemingly was like they were either hoping that you never find that body, because there was a quote that one of the parents of the other kids said that the grandpa was like, basically like said like, hopefully they don't find her because with no body, there's no case. Like some similar to that.
I guess they'll do an autopsy if they find the body. Is that what they're worried about?
Yeah, I think so. But also like I'm assuming in lawyer terminology, like you can't charge anybody with like homicide or like anything serious if somebody just goes missing.
Yeah,
because you could
no bodies ever found. Yeah.
Okay.
With causing so much confusion as a lawyer, I'm assuming that you can tell stories, because like just seeing kind of how lawyers work, they like. I've only seen a couple like big cases, but every time they get somebody off, they usually tell ulterior stories, and it's not like to prove that story, but it's to prove
It's reasonable doubt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, they were hoping that either they were hoping that the body never got found, or honestly, they were trying to intercept that body and hide it.
Okay.
Like from the public, but like he said, somebody just walked up on it, and they found her. And thank God, because honestly, as a parent, like I can't even imagine living without knowing.
Well, and I would have to imagine too, like there is like a hope somehow, some way. There's a hope that
but
she's
it was
still alive.
like
It was a long time after.
Like, you're like they're like, even some of them were saying, even the boyfriend was saying like deep down inside, like I knew she was gone.
Yeah.
It was just like I wanted that confirmation.
Yeah.
And damn, man, that part was heartbreaking. And so like, yeah, so it tells all this and how like that happened, how they covered up, bro, randomly after that was in like 2018, right?
2019
that boat accident happened.
Mm-hmm. So this is all recent. This is this was very different.
Bro,
watching this.
I think it was, I can't remember exactly the dates, but what was it, like months later?
Oh, it's fine.
Like the murders happened?
No, I think that was that not in 2021?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it jumped forward to 2021.
Okay. So this happened in 2019. In 2021, there's a call, a dispatch call of Alec, the dad,
or Alex,
or Oleg.
We don't know his real name.
Calling the dispatch that somebody had murdered his wife and his youngest son.
Okay, this is the
on
part
their
I've
property.
seen. Yeah.
And holy bro, that was crazy. That was like, that stunned me, because I'm like, how do you not lead with this? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so his alibi was that he was with his parents. Well, I'll fast forward to all that. Basically, that got nixed, and that's one of the reasons why he's in custody, because this is kind of eerie. But on the son's phone, there's a video like 15 minutes before the murders happen, where you can hear his dad in the background.
Oh,
and
really?
I'm like, God, man, that I don't know. When I heard that, I was like, I guess it like puts you in that situation. It's like they never showed the tape. I'm assuming because it's in evidence.
Right.
which I would have loved to have been able to see that. Right, like
I'm assuming it was a Snapchat
Yeah.
video because they kept showing throughout the whole documentary
true.
how much these kids use Snapchat.
yeah, they use Snapchat more than anything, and like, but I was like, bro,
So
how
old.
eerie is that you took a video and 15 minutes later, or not even 15 minutes later, your dad kills you.
Yeah.
Like, that is nuts.
Isn't there? Okay, maybe I'm jumping ahead on this story, but maybe I'm confusing with another one. But isn't there something about like a hitman too?
Okay, so
Okay,
you are jumping ahead.
I'm not. I don't know the timeline. That's
Yeah,
all I was asking.
So then
Okay.
with this, a bunch of people are like, all right, pause, because then they start telling about how there was 2 other deaths that were one was loosely connected to the family,
Mhm.
the other one was the housekeeper.
Okay.
So the housekeeper one is nuts. So I don't know.
That
which
was
one
like
you wanna
back
hear
in
first?
2015.
The loosely one or the
Which
the housekeeper.
start with the housekeeper.
The housekeeper came first.
Yeah.
That was the one that
No,
was
I
in
don't think
2015.
so.
Yep.
Was it? Okay.
I believe the other one was 2018.
Okay.
Damn, that's a lot of murdering.
Yeah.
Well, that's ultimately this. It was all of a sudden 5 bodies are connected to this one
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
So the housekeeper, she was a slip and fall at the on the porch steps that just got like no autopsy was done, nothing. It was just late. It was just named as an accident.
Yeah.
Whatever happened. But when they start digging into it, these guys are lawyers, right?
Right.
This guy put in, what was it, a month before she passed
Oh.
away, a life insurance policy
Okay.
that paid out a bunch of, I can't remember how I don't know if you remember,
No, I don't.
but it was a big substantial amount of money that
Okay.
her family never saw.
Okay.
Didn't even know about the money. So like he basically was putting in claims for her as like the representative of the family, and the family was didn't even know that this was happening. Had
That's
no
so
clue.
scummy. Yeah.
Also, by around this time, that lawyer firm is doing another investigation on him because he's stealing funds
Okay.
and like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they blamed it on his opioid like addiction.
Mhm.
He even went to rehab for a secret opioid addiction, but there was a guy that was on the documentary saying like there's no way that he spent that amount of money on opioids.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
Like, yeah. The
He's
numbers
like,
on
that
it
was enough
were-
opioids to last a lifetime,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then some. I
And
forget.
he's like, and that's it. Like, even if he made some outlandish number, and he's like, and that's if you were like a hardcore user.
Right.
And so then the other body that was attached was
well, hold on.
Okay,
So
yeah.
also part of the thing with the housekeeper was that like whether it was an accident, if she actually fell and they just didn't report it, or it was on purpose, she knew too much because she
Yeah.
knew about all this opioid stuff and she
Right.
knew about like a lot of what they were
It's a
covering
good
up.
way to get rid of somebody
yeah, ain't no way.
and make some
So
money.
it
I
yeah.
thought it was at first it was like taking advantage of a situation, but I can't remember the timeline. But I think it was like a month before they took out a substantial life insurance policy
Right.
on her, like a substantial one.
And that's crazy because
That's-
you would assume the insurance would want an autopsy and everything.
Yeah, but he's a lawyer, so
Right.
maybe they just know how to get
This was
around it.
twisted up.
So then the other body was a random gay kid
Mhm.
that went to high school with the older son.
Okay.
That there were rumors that had like sexual
They said they were intimate.
yeah,
That was the word they
Okay.
used to
They used-
describe it.
intimate with the older son.
Okay.
And this body seemingly I guess I thought that it was gonna be that the dad took him out, but the other what the rumor that was going around was that the Murdaugh boys did it along with who knows what else.
Mm-hmm.
Basically they just beat this kid to death.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So like he had a flat tire or whatever. Yeah, it was super like
They
that's another
staged
thing,
it to
they
look
staged
like it
he
was
got a
Like
flat
a
tire and he got
robbery
hit.
gone wrong.
No.
Like he got hit by a car.
He was in the middle of the
Oh,
road.
Interesting. Okay.
But it was literally like he was laid out in the middle of the road, and it was
Right.
like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And also like his shoes,
No
were
broken
on.
bones.
His shoes were on, and he was wearing Vans that weren't even tied. So it's like he didn't get
Yeah,
hit.
that was a big like teller because that was where they hired a private investigator
Yeah.
to look into that one.
Because also like what they were really good at was causing confusion
right.
and like keeping it under wraps.
Okay.
like making it as private as possible. So like even the investigator was like, "What is going on? Like nobody's looking at this stuff. Like what?" And
Nobody's questioning it. You got to keep riding with it.
yeah. So then, then the part that you were like alluding to earlier about the hitman, this guy is nuts, bro.
I seen that part and I was like, "This is crazy. I don't know what's going on."
The dad called into dispatch a random time, and he was on the side of the road where his car was broke down. Which, like, for as much money as these people have, like, you ain't break down your car.
Right?
ain't
Yeah,
break
that car
down.
is mint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said that he got shot, and that like he was bleeding and all whatever, and then he was blaming it on an assisted suicide that was that he had hired his drug dealer to perform. And the drug dealer sitting back like, what is this dude talking about?
I did not do that.
He's like,
I'm
he
a drug
just
dealer,
called
not a
me-
murderer.
Exactly. He's like, he just called me one time and was like randomly and was like, yo, my car, like I need your help or whatever. And he pulled up and then the guy takes out a gun and starts acting crazy. So there was one lady on there that she suspected that it was that like the assisted suicide thing was probably formulated afterward. She was like, the plan was possibly that he wanted to stage it like if this guy was a hitman to kill him.
Okay.
And then they were gonna fight for the gun, and he was gonna kill the drug dealer, and then the drug dealer was gonna take the blame for the murders of his wife and his son. Which I was like, that's probably what the original
that makes too much sense.
Yeah, that was probably what the original plan was. But then whatever happened, he ended up like I guess either shooting himself or pretending like he shot himself in the head.
Isn't like his ear get shot or something like that?
Maybe that's what happened.
They said a head wound. I don't even know if they said
all
where
they said
it was.
was a head wound. They didn't even show it or nothing. I'm assuming all this stuff is still in evidence, so they can't really.
You have to
show
be
it too
committed
much.
to the fraud if you're gonna like.
I'm also assuming that Netflix knows how powerful they are, so it's like if you need a jury for this guy, you can't really give out too much information because, like, how many like big publicity like cases in the past have been ruined by a sway
you can get a
jury
mistrial.
because- exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that Netflix probably did that on purpose to not give out, because I was even like, God damn, like I want to see this stuff, but then like he's still in jail.
Right. Because this is the original document. It's not the same one, right? Isn't there a new one that just came out?
No, this is the new one. There was
new one is the
another
one I
one.
watched.
Okay.
There was a new one that didn't go in this depth because I was watching it with my mom and she was like, "Oh, I know about," and she knew about, I forget which one. I think it was the murders of his son and his wife.
Okay.
She had watched one on that, but it didn't go into all the other ones.
Okay.
And so so then at the end, this was really interesting, which I knew what they were doing, but I guess like the son. So there was like rumors coming out, and like the media was talking about the older son. I forgot what the media was saying that he was doing with like a large sum of money, and he was going to Vegas and gambling or whatever. But I just listened to a podcast on Flagrant 2 about money, and they were talking about money laundering, and that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
So they were like, I don't know, I can't remember what the media was doing, but what they were doing was you put in money that's stolen, so probably the money like or whatever, just illegal money you're putting into the system and you're pulling it out. So even if you put in, let's say they probably were dealing with a lot more, but let's say on one thing, like there's $100,000 that you have that's illegal money, you put it into a bank, like into the casino system. Even if you lose 20 G's and pull out the rest of it, it looks like winnings on paper. So that's where the paper trail comes in. Now it's clean money.
Yeah.
Like loosely based. You obviously can't do that with a large sum, with like a ridiculous amount of money, like millions of dollars. Is like, all right, well, we know.
I think they have like serial number. They check the serial numbers, that kind of stuff.
What does it matter? Like you're putting in the money anyway. So like the biggest question mark is if you do it with too large of a money, then they'll be like, all right, well, pre-casino, where'd you get $2 million?
Yeah.
Like,
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's interesting how they're just like, "Oh, where did that money go from?"
Yeah.
I don't know.
but like as
makes
lawyers,
sense.
they know that like I'm assuming that the money laundering, when you're intelligently doing it, is like you start somewhere and then you move it around enough once it's clean to clean it even more, to make to cause that same confusion that's before. That it's like now all you need is the IRS to know that like this came from a charity that you put in a bunch of money or whatever it is. That, oh, there's an investment that you put in. Well, it originated from this casino transaction or whatever. And the funniest part for me was that there's like phone recordings of him talking to his oldest son like, from jail, because obviously everything's recorded. Yeah. And as lawyers, they know that. Right. Also, this is a funny tidbit. The son was going to law school and he got kicked out for cheating. For what was it? For
I don't remember.
What is that when you copy stuff? Plagiarism.
Plagiarism,
he got kicked out for plagiarism.
Nice.
So I thought that was funny. But yeah, so everything's recorded, and dude, their acting is so horrible because the son is like, God, I can't believe I'm doing this. And the so like they did a recording of like the casino thing. Is like, what they say that you were doing? And he's like, oh, they think that I'm like whatever. And he's like, that's crazy. Why would they even think that?
Oh, that's awesome.
He was like, oh God, shut up.
It's so funny to me that somebody took a picture of him. This was back like when COVID was still like at its height, so they all had masks on. Somebody knew who he was with the mask on.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that like he looked like he would shave his head, and like I think that's a mental thing too, right? Like you don't want to see like this like good looking guy on trial, or he's not good looking, but like you want to make yourself basically as like.
But when they first showed him, he looked like just like a Southern dad.
Yeah, he looked like.
And then he looked like when he shaved his head, it was
I'm like,
whoa,
God,
that's
like,
the guy that committed the crime.
Yeah,
he looks sick. Like,
yeah, he did.
And I think that like that was interesting too. That it was on purpose. I wonder if it's like that's going to be used in trial. Like, oh my, like this guy to get him like a better situation. I'm assuming
you can say he's not all there.
It was very interesting to see because like then me and my wife started talking about it, and it was like interesting to me because we talk about like white privilege all the time, right? But it's like this is the privilege that like is like crazy. It's like white, powerful, rich men like getting away with 5 bodies, like, or like what maybe he not won't get away with it, but it's like even to get to this point, it's like that's like everything they were saying, it was just pissing me off. Yeah. And it's like, but I also like somewhat agreed with some of the stuff. Like there was a situation where the youngest son like flipped over his truck when he was drinking and driving, and the girlfriend like was calling the cops, and then he's like, "Bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm sitting there like, "Yeah, for real, bitch. What the fuck? What are you talking about? What are you doing?" Yeah, like nobody got hurt. So in that situation, like I agree with like use whatever you have to your disposal, but it's like obviously, but doing that leads to
the crimes of murder.
To an accident where somebody loses their life, and it's like, well, maybe if he wasn't getting away with all this stuff, that would have never happened. Right. And it's like that's crazy. And this is like a tidbit. Like, I kind of want you to watch it so that you could be like, oh my God, what is this?
How did he get away with this?
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, this is crazy. Like the amount of money that takes, or like, but it's not even just the money. I'll
power.
Say it's power.
Yeah,
because being a lawyer in that
situation,
and coming down from that like generational, we talk about wealth all the time, but it's not at this point. It's not even wealth because they're might not even be the richest people ever.
It's
or
just
like
connections,
or whatever.
How embarrassing.
The connections and the power is like that interest. That was the interesting structure to me, where it's like then people are like, how do situations like better your opportunity? And it's like
that's how it's done.
Oh my God! That's an example that is like that. Obviously, that's an egregious example, but it's like that's what I was thinking the whole time I was watching it. I was like, that's incredible. Like,
how embarrassing is it? Like you have like generations of just fraud and corruption. You're the one that screws it up.
Well, because they got sloppy.
Oh, that's what I mean though. Like you have these. I mean, granted, sloppy. Technology gets better and better and stuff, but
Well, but
the whole hitman situation is just like that's so bizarre.
That was so lazy.
Yeah,
but then like
I'm talking like I could do it better. Come on, man.
I mean,
the problem was that it like
He was already so deep in at that
He was
point.
so
He
deep
literally
in.
killed his wife and son.
Well, then I started thinking about that, and it's like, what did that happen? We talked about it earlier. It's like he probably killed his son because he killed his wife, and then they kind of touched
just
it on
snowballed.
it. Yeah, they kind of touch on it a little bit, but they were having financial problems,
Okay.
and so he probably killed his wife because they were having financial.
Well, the wife was
problems.
going to divorce him.
But it
Remember
wasn't.
they talked about
I don't
that.
think. I don't
Okay.
think it was just like passion.
But it's because she was finding the fraud stuff.
Yeah, probably.
He's
They
probably
talked
gonna
about
get
that. No, I
exposed.
think it talked about
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
That's what I was
Well,
wondering because I don't. I
It
hadn't
sounded like
heard why.
he knew that
She was
like,
going to chirp.
things were gonna calm
Okay.
down because even after she died, he still got fired from the firm
Okay.
or whatever, and like all this stuff he started losing not only his power but his money
Yeah.
fast, and so it's like, man, maybe what his wife knew was even worse than what we know.
Because I think his brother, he's got brothers, the Alec guy. He's got brothers. I think
His
they're in
brothers
on
are
it too.
sleazy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his brothers are.
I'm sure they're still part of the
sleazy.
firm.
Oh, 100% they are.
Can you imagine going to that firm? I guess criminals.
Yeah.
Isn't there something that he sued his own law firm to?
That was the
Was that the housemaid?
housemaid.
Okay, that's crazy.
And then that's when he said he was going to give money to her kids, and he never did.
Man, could you imagine that?
No.
No, me neither. Yeah,
No.
that's
Thank
just
goodness.
the scummiest thing possible. Gosh.
I was like, man, like you, and I guess like going down to that, like generational stuff is like
Yeah.
he was so separated from what it took to get that he didn't like he fumbled the bag.
Yeah,
He fumbled the bag so bad that like it was just caving.
it's just everything's over for him now.
Everything
His
just
kids
started
definitely sped it up
snowballing.
for him.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure. The youngest brother.
Yeah, the youngest
for
was
sure.
dumb, dude.
dude.
I can only imagine.
But he was
I
just
would-
rebelling, to be
I would
honest.
love to. I would love a list of all the things that got him out of, because we only got
Yeah,
Yeah, we only saw what like
the truck and the boat
yeah,
basically.
there's so many. How many other things happened that like probably got swept under the rug and
Shit.
good enough to where we'll never
Yeah.
reach the light of day. How many stuff did he? How many like? Is there any more
How
bodies?
many more bodies? Yeah,
that's why,
Yeah.
like
he's
who
got
knows?
2, maybe 5, if not more.
Yeah. So I don't know, that whole thing was crazy, but yeah, I just thought it was interesting, like that man, I don't know. I guess I just kind of also think about, like, we always talk about like NFL owners and stuff, and like
Mhm.
people like in those positions that are, like, that was handed down generational. It's like, how many of these things happen that we never know about?
Yeah.
Like never know about, or like nobody ever knows about. Like how many stuff that like if it wasn't for that, for like certain things happening, like this would have got
like
covered.
John Gruden getting fired.
Yeah.
He took everybody down with him.
Well, what about what
Still
about
doing it.
what about
Still
the
doing it.
Washington's owner? That's like, if you
That's what I
guys kick
mean. That's what I
me
mean.
out-
That was all a
Yeah.
stem from
Oh.
because remember, the whole reason we found out about that was because Gruden started throwing people under the
Yeah.
bus.
Was that?
I think so.
I
Yeah,
thought
that
it
was
was
around
they
the-
were investigating the Washington team.
but I think it's because of the emails that John Gruden was on, talking about the cheerleaders.
Yeah, well, that's what like happened from it. But I still think that the Washington football team is under investigation from like
Yes.
Congress.
I'm pretty positive. Yeah.
So I think that the Gruden stuff was an accidental thing that happened to him because of the Washington stuff.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite. I thought Gruden got busted, so then
And I think it was like sexual allegations that started trickling in that kind of led to that stuff.
gotcha.
And he was the first to be like, got him in his sights.
I don't think he's going to be the only one either.
No, but I mean they're dragging their feet, and I guess that goes to show the power, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because then also the whole count. I don't know how they deal with the council of like ownership, because everything is like voted. Like, for example, like Donald Trump at one point wanted to own a football team, and they all were like, hell no.
Yeah. It
Like,
is
you're too much
like
in the public eye.
It's a club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're too much in the public eye to be like to you're too much. I think it was more of like, you're too much of a liability for
Yeah.
us.
Well, I heard they passed some kind of resolution to make sure that like Jeff Bezos can't buy the Commanders.
Is that why he's trying to go in with multiple people?
No, I think they passed it because he was trying to buy them.
Oh,
I mean, the Washington Commanders changed their bylaws.
because it was
or
like what
whatever.
him, Jay-Z, and there was like one other person they were all trying to get
Yeah.
The owners of the Commanders.
Someone needs to get that, save that franchise.
And the
Change the
Cowboys.
name.
Oh, yeah.
Change it
Washington
back to the
football
Washington
team.
football team.
It was a better name.
Yeah, way better.
The Commanders, bro. How stupid.
Horrible.
Stupid name.
Now go back
But
to
yeah, I
the
think that-
Redskins. Gosh, that's
Honestly,
that's
yeah.
over the Commanders, bro. Gosh.
I just think it's interesting, like that guy, like for people that don't know, like they were trying to kick him out of being an NFL
He's like,
owner,
I'll-
and he's like,
I got
I
the
will
dirt.
snitch on
I got
all of
receipts."
you.
Yeah.
I think that's super interesting, but like
Robert Kraft gets hand jobs. It's like
nothing happened.
nothing happened. Yeah.
God, that's crazy. Like having that, like just imagine like living like that. Like, and I'm not even like, oh, is that fair or not? Like, imagine having that, even that option of
Yeah.
having a power that you could be like, I can do whatever I want
There's
with no
nothing you can
consequences.
do about it. Yeah.
Like, I think that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like that, like just having that, the thought of that is like nuts because like, I don't know. Like we always talk about like freedom, and it's like there obviously is limitations to freedom because you step on other people's toes or like you can hurt somebody else or whatever. So that's why like freedom is like is a mindset within like the structure of humanity, right? Like you can't just walk outside and kill somebody. Like that's wrong because obviously that person has freedoms or has a right of their own, and that person's connected to another stem of people that have that. But like to be so free that you're at the top of like this power structure that you can just go outside and shoot somebody in the head and like nothing happens from that. Like I mean, we'll see.
I mean,
But
who
his
knows?
whole world is
Yeah.
crumbling, so I don't know if he has that power anymore. We'll see if his family has.
Regardless
still
if he has the
that.
power or not, it's like whoever's helping him or whatever they can only cover up so much.
Yeah.
But
But
there is a degree,
we'll see.
especially now with the public eye.
Yeah, but we'll see.
But now the public's looking at
The
it.
public is like,
It's a little bit different.
That's
now.
the problem.
Yeah.
That's what they always like. Looking back at everything they did, that's what they always tried to suppress.
Mhm.
Was the public outroar, and now Netflix like blew them up.
Because I think that even happened with the Epstein stuff.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
now that the public is as involved as they are, everybody's like, all right, well, where's that list?
Yeah,
Let's see that list.
But then look at the power there.
Well,
Somebody
I
on that
haven't-
list is
I
suppressing.
haven't seen that list.
Somebody on that list is suppressing it. Like that's the reality, right?
Well, there's always been rumors that he was CIA, so
Even if it is CIA or whatever,
That's what I mean,
crazy
yeah.
that there's a power that can suppress that type of information from us,
yeah.
from just everybody. I think that's nuts.
We don't know anything about the Epstein stuff. And we don't want to.
I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing about nothing.
I heard the tapes might come out, but I don't know.
We're gonna end this right here because we
I
don't
would like that.
I've heard rumors. Yeah.
That I would talk about a Netflix documentary that I would watch.
dude.
You'd hope they do reenactments, like cast everybody.
I don't know. About reenactment.
No, not those kind.
What do you mean,
Not
bro?
those kind. Why you got to be creepy?
You said it.
No, you mean I just want the
All right, we're
celebrities.
ending it on that.
Yeah, all right, bye.
I think see if this man's name is on the flight plan.
My name is
Anyway,
Evie Brookins.
Oh, that was good. No, I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
Like, because it wasn't like that was obviously the main thing that we're looking at. But
Yeah.
how many things from that like close knit of people like happened? Because it's like he was doing his own stuff. So like there was like the island that we know very little about, right? We know that bad shit happened on the island, but we
Yeah.
know very little about it. What we really know is only the stuff that he did here in the States.
Yeah.
Like that's about it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He lived here in Florida too, which is crazy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Nuts. All right.
All right.
Well,
We
on
don't
that
know nothing
note-
about nothing.
Jeez, yeah.
We don't know nothing about nothing.
On that note, yeah, follow our social Instagram, Bunker Boys _ podcast, the YouTube, no, not underscore, Bunker Boys with the Z. I'm tired. And yeah, just like, subscribe,
Share.
Appreciate you guys listening. The numbers were pretty good after like after a little bit of like short amount of time. That's what I kind of look at. I look at like the like 48 hours after we post, like what do the numbers look like. That's really what I want to grow is like people listening to us right after we post. So appreciate you guys, everybody that listens, everybody that comments, likes, everything. We appreciate it. So.
All right. Have a good day.
Peace out.
Bye.
Deuces.
Peace.